Welcome to week 1 of the Coffee Break Club with Dr. Andrea. I bet you're already wondering, what will you get with this exclusive club? Well, for starters, you get me as your coach, at least virtually. And you can think of me as sort of your guide along the way. So one of the things that we'll be focusing on over the next several weeks is personal growth. So each week, you'll get a topic delivered to your email box. And that topic will be related to something that will force you to look inward, to build your personal awareness. Together, we'll start building an action plan, and that action plan will be based on the topics and the things that we discuss. And hopefully, out of it, you'll get accountability. So I promise you, if you put in the work, you'll be amazed at what will come out of it. So, are you ready to get to work? Well, we have to get started before my coffee gets cold. So, what is our topic for today? Our first topic is taken from a service that I actually provided for a number of years. And this was from my mastermind group focused on personal awareness. And it used John Maxwell's book, The 15 Laws of Personal Growth. And in that book, the first law was the law of intentionality. It's actually one of my favorites. It speaks volumes to me. It speaks volumes to where I was when I was in corporate and then how I actually ended up transitioning out. In this law, it talks about you can't just live life and expect to grow. Expect that experiences are going to automatically lead to growth opportunities. It just doesn't happen that way. If you really want to be the person that you were designed to be, if you really want to tap into all the gifts and talents inside of you and somehow live a life that is very purposeful, full of your passion, then you have to do it on purpose. It is intentional. Now, for years, I loved my job in corporate. I loved the impact that I was making. I loved the work that I was doing. But there was something inside of me that was always calling me to do much more. Now, when I started asking myself the big questions, the questions that people always ask, like, what would you do if money was no option? Or what would you do if failure was no option? Or where do you want to be when you grow up? Where do you want your life to be? Now, those are questions that we often hear, but this time when I started asking those questions, I got in a silent place where I could hear my inner voice answer those questions. For me, it led me out of my corporate environment into what I'm doing today. Had I stayed there, one, I wouldn't be your coach and I wouldn't be able to connect with you. But everybody has something inside of them. So maybe you're already living that life, living that passion. Then what these next few weeks will be about a reminder for you to be purposeful with your growth in order for you to achieve success. For others, it may be a time that you start reflecting in and start looking inward to see what is next for you. So wherever it takes you, and all of our paths are different, one thing that you can rest assured of is we'll go together. So what's the first step? One, you got to download the worksheet. You got to start doing the work. Ask yourself the big question. Then you have to start putting a plan in place, setting aside time on your calendar that you can, one, focus on your investment in personal growth that you're getting right now through the Coffee Break Club and all the other work that you're doing. And the third thing is you got to hold yourself accountable. That may be you sharing it with another person, or it could be just emailing me to tell me what you're focusing on so I can help hold you accountable. So you'll put these 3 steps in place and we'll see how everything turns out. So that's it for week 1. Let's get to work. And I'll see you next week in the Coffee Break Club.